Hey everybody, Kyle Knott, your average finance guy. I wanted to talk to you a little bit today about, as I was just cruising the internet a little bit, I come across some things from time to time. Some I already know, sometimes it's really good information. And I can come across this, the 10, or the rules of money. There's a bunch of different ones. The rules of money, and as I was going through, I hit the images button, and get my face out of the way. So there's the rules of money, and these are the most common ones that I come across. And right next to it was the 50-30-20 rule. So I thought, wow, that's pretty cool. So if you look at the rules of money, number one is pay yourself first. Okay, that's probably the big one. And right next to it, this 50-30-20 rule, 50% goes to your needs, 30% goes to your wants, and then 20% goes to your savings and retirement. But as this is kind of laid out, this looks like, well, the last 20% goes towards savings and retirement. But if you look at the rules of money, that's what you should do first. So in this 50-30-20 rule, it's a great rule of thumb, 20%. If you start in your 20s saving 20% of your income, you're going to have a great financial life. So keep that up, and if you can keep throwing this 20% in, but do it first. So maybe, depending on where you're at, you can't quite get to the 20%. I totally get that with where everything's at right now. But if you can just take your paycheck, if you're paid weekly, take 10% of that out. Just take it out of your checking account. You should be, hopefully you're doing velocity banking or the infinite banking concept. But the first thing to do, like the first rule says here, is pay yourself first. So take 10%, or maybe you start with 1%, start 5%, something. Just take something out of your regular paycheck and open a savings account. Okay, even if that's your first step altogether, put that away, put that somewhere else where it's harder to get at. Okay, maybe you send it, you get direct deposit, you can talk to your HR and they can send 1% of your check to a money market account somewhere that's just a little bit harder to access, and you just you put that money away, you keep putting it away, you almost forget about it, and you just you save the rest. We got the end of the year coming up, and hopefully a lot of people are going to be getting raises or bonuses or something like that. If you take half of your bonus and set that aside, you might get a bonus, you might not. If you've already got that earmark for something, I get it. But if you like it says here, pay yourself first. If you can take half of that bonus and set that aside into this blue bucket here, that's gonna get you really gonna get you set up. So, and then if you get a raise, so say you get a $25 a paycheck raise, what do you need that? Sure, we all need it, but it's just paycheck creep, right? I've been at this job of mine for a lot of years now, and I'm making a lot more money now than I was when I was, right out of college and first starting out. But it seems like every time you get a raise, you just somehow figure out how to spend a little bit more money. You get a little raise, you spend a little bit more. It's paycheck creep. What if you take that raise, or at least half of it, and put that away? Okay, so pretty soon, without even trying, you're going to be saving this 20% pretty easily. All right, if you can't do it right now, I totally get that. But as things come in, maybe you get you get some birthday money. You weren't expecting it. Any money you don't expect, take at least half of it and put it in this emergency fund. It's a savings and investment. This is paying yourself first. Again, it's the first rule of money. And it says here emergency fund. It's basically a 401k or a retirement fund. Stocks, rental properties, bonds, mutual funds, investments. Take that money and make that money work for you. Make that money grow. The more time you have, the bigger this pile gets. And when you're no longer working, then this is what you got to live off of. Hopefully these investments can go crazy. Who knows? Maybe you bought some Bitcoin when it was, a nickel, and now it's worth almost 100 grand. So hopefully you've got 100 of those and you're sitting pretty. So, but whatever it is, take that first rule of money, pay yourself first, and just like I said, take that out of your paycheck, and you'll never miss it. You don't really know where it's at. You do, but it's harder to get at. Start there. Once you get a nice chunk of money, then you can go and you can invest it in something. You can, like I would totally get an infinite banking policy. As long when you got a chunk of money started up, and that's just going to keep multiplying, you can then pull it out of there, and then you can invest it from there. You can, maybe go buy a rental property. It's going to take a little bit to get that first 25% down payment, or maybe it's 25% down payment on a rental property. But once you get that, now you've got you've got another asset that is someone else is paying it off for you. Hopefully it's going up in value. You're getting tax deductions out of it. You're getting depreciation out of it. So it's a really good way to get your money to work for you. Maybe you're in the stock market. You know what Warren Buffett says, if you'd bought just, you know, S&P 500, just keep buying that. Maybe every week you throw 5% of your money into an S&P 500 index fund. I did that for a while. I opened a Vanguard account, and I got paid on Wednesdays and Thursday. I had an automatic deduction of 10% of that money was gone, and it was in that investment account. So it's just one way to kind of you kind of set it and forget it. When you first get started, you're going to be watching it every day. You're going to be watching what the market does, but your dollar cost averaging. If you put money in there every week, when it goes up, that means you're going to be buying stock for a little bit more. But when it goes down and you're all worried, you're getting it cheaper, so you're buying stock at a discount. So it's a really good way to if you just do that for, you know, if you start that in your 20s and you do that for the rest of your life, and if the stock market keeps doing what it's been doing, you know, since the Great Depression, hopefully that keeps rolling, and it's a really good way to get started. And this number one rule of money, to pay yourself first. Just get started, pay yourself first, and grow that nest egg. Before you know it, it's going to take off like a snowball rolling down the mountains. Well, let's keep going a little bit here. Number two, learn how to invest, right? So pay yourself first. Like I said, get that savings account going and just put it away, make that automatic. You'll never see it, you'll never know it. Number two, learn how to invest. So you can get some books. I'm happy to give you a bunch of tips on stuff I've done in the past. There's obviously YouTube is a great resource. I've learned more on YouTube than I ever have in school and all my life. So there's all kinds of great channels you can search out there. I've been doing kind of some options lately where I'll buy a dividend paying stock, and, you know, say the stock is at 50, and you can actually sell a put, which means that if the stock comes down, that you'll buy it at, say, 49, and they will pay you, someone else will pay you money to buy it at 49. And what that is, it's protection in case it drops all the way down to 45. Then you have to buy it at 49 when that option's up. So if instead of buying it at 50 today, I'll maybe buy it at 49 at the end of the week, and every week I can sell these puts, and eventually I'm sure I'm going to buy it. But there's been cases where I've had 5 or 6 weeks go by where I'm making this premium, I'm making the premium, and the option expires worthless. So options are something to look into. Covered calls, if say then I buy the stock at 49, but it went all the way down to 45. At that point, I could sell a covered call because I now own the stock. But now I'll say, okay, I'm going to sell this. If it goes to 49, I'm going to sell it. I remember I bought it at 49, and they're going to pay me, someone else is going to pay me money to sell that option, okay, for them to have the right to buy it at 49. What they're doing then is they think it's going to go up to, who knows, 55. And if it does that in this certain time period, then they have the right to buy it at 49. So that's what I sold them. But it's just it's the little hits, it's the base hits, the singles, it's the constant cash flow every week. You're getting some cash flow, but you kind of have to know what you're doing. I'm not great at it, so I'm not really going to give you too much advice. I would say go look into this a little bit more, because just when you think you got it figured out, you'll sell it and it'll skyrocket, and that kind of sucks because then you missed out on all the gains. Or you'll sell a put and it has plummeted, $10, and you can't really sell it to where you were to get your money back. So it can get a little hairy, a little dicey. So definitely look into that. But it's a great way to bring some income into the situation when you learn how to invest. Don't be a hater of money, okay? Learn how to use it. It's a game. One of these other things said it's a game. So learn to play the game and let's have fun with it. All right? Give every dollar a job. That's in the knowing your numbers. If look back at my other video, know your numbers, and give every dollar a job. When it comes in, know where it's going. And Dave Ramsey has like an envelope system. We're using cash. You can stuff it into the different envelopes. At the end of the day, if you've got a going out envelope and you want to go out one more time at the end of the month or the end of the week, and your envelope's empty, you're not going out. Okay, it's just a way to keep you accountable, and it's a good budgeting tool and giving every dollar a job. And then number 5, spend less than you earn. If you get the positive cash flow, everything that we talk about on this channel is going to work so much easier, and your financial life is going to be that much better. So have a plan, set goals, right? Know where you want to go, know where you want to be, right? Don't be a slave to money. So once you get in debt, now you're a slave to the banks and money owns you. keep it the other way. Keep that 20% in that investment bucket and keep that growing, and you'll always be fine. Keep your finances organized. Again, know where everything goes. It's a game. Learn how it works, and it's once you get it figured out, it's actually kind of fun. Always have an emergency fund. So I like to keep $1,000 in the bank at all times. That way, when something comes up, which it always does, you're ready to go, and it's not going to derail everything. It's not going to derail all your goals. Always make money work for you, right? And when we save and invest, we got that money while working, while we're sleeping soundly. I'll learn how to make money passively. Again, kind of same as 11, where the money's working for you. I don't have to, sometimes rental properties, if you're managing the property, you're the one that has to deal with the tenants and the toilets. Maybe you hire a property manager. Maybe you sell a note to an investor, and you become the bank, and you just make the spread on the bank money. You use money to solve problems in the world. So your way I always thought, I don't remember where I heard it from, but you vote with your dollars. So wherever your dollars go is kind of what you're voting for. So you can use it to whatever, problems are near and dear to your heart. I've always had a soft spot for kids. They're kind of born into some pretty shitty parents sometimes, and not their fault. So I always like to help them. And worked with a guy that was very passionate about the Make-A-Wish Foundation and raised a lot of money for Make-A-Wish Foundation. So there's great causes out there, and when you got an excess of money, you can help other people out and give it to where you think it needs to be. Give it to where it matters most. It's not what you make, it's what you keep. Again, since I've heard these stories of people that make like $10 million a year, but they spend $10,100,000, right? So, okay, great, you made $10 million a year, but you spent more than you made. What's that? That's another one of these. Spend less than you earn. So even if it's 10 million, if you got 10 million one going out, it's not good. So it's not what you make, it's what you keep. So here's some quick and dirty rules of money. It's all over the internet. Google this up and print this out, whatever you want to do, and really think about it and get yourself on the right track. All right, hope this helps.
All right, I get out of here.